At Direct Service Overhead, we know how much trust you put in the individuals who have the privilege of working on the components of your home. We understand that a broken garage door is the last thing you want to be worried about, and most of the time, doors break at the most inconvenient times. Our professionally trained technicians service 24 hours a day, and our high-cycle parts are guaranteed to make a noticeable impact on your garage door without putting a damper on your wallet. If you're looking for need of assistance maintaining your current garage door, our team has the experience and expertise to deliver the results you deserve. Give Direct Service Overhead a call today or visit us online to learn more.
All right. Let's do this, shall we? 3, 2, 1. Yo, what's going on, Arkansas Razorback fans, SEC fans everywhere? Welcome to the one and only Picture Network YouTube channel. I'm Ty Hudson. We've had some breaking news apparently. Of course. As soon as I go live, Greg Brooks, according to Kelly Marie, has officially picked LSU. I had heard they offered or that they were interested, and he's now with LSU. So welcome. Do me a favor if you guys would like, comment, share the content if you would. Sharing is caring. Okay, for real. Sharing is caring. Subscribe if you haven't already, and like I said, like the stream too. That would be great. Of course, shout out to Patreon supporters. Unbelievable. Really proud of how far that's gone. That's just been incredible. Of course, we have to say a special shout out to our sponsor, not plural right now, Direct Service Overhead Garage Door Company. You need to repair or replace your garage door, give these guys a call. They operate out of both Northwest Arkansas and Central Arkansas. Basically, anywhere in the state of Arkansas that has a garage door, by God, they'll be there and they'll help you out. Check out what they can do for you. There's a link provided for you in our Discord and in down below in the description box. So let's find out. Did he really go? And not that I doubt you, Kelly. I have to see it with my own eyes. Did he actually announce? Hang on. Oh my gosh, I'm sure it is the case. Which is crazy when you consider LSU being DBU. I'm not seeing it anywhere right now. I see people telling him to come home. I know LSU had offered, and that's why I don't, or they were at least interested. Hold up. She probably DM'd me. Yep, she did. She DM'd me. Okay. So Hog Sports confirmed it to LSU. All right. Oh, it's 100% crystal ball. Okay. Oh, Kelly. Hey, but it's better than what's his name does. Okay, that guy. I get a couple people that send me on wild goose chases. That wasn't a wild goose chase. I mean, okay, so they are expecting him to go. That is such an interesting place for him to go to. DBU, and I get that. I thought the kid was pretty good, and LSU is not gonna. They're not gonna. You can only take 7 people out of the portal, so clearly they believe he could do something at least with their depth chart. If he does go to LSU, and it's really hard because you're talking about a DB, right? You're talking about a defensive back. It's a little different when you're talking about a skill position guy on offense or a rush end or a linebacker, because really the only thing you have to measure on a stat sheet is INTs or pass breakups or passes broken up. I wonder, do you guys think that if he goes to LSU, that he does any better than he did at Arkansas? I think had he came back, I think he probably could have been at least there's a possibility he could have been drafted here. I don't know where I would put him on that list of players to be drafted. I certainly think that with him coming back, getting that extra year, having all the experience that he has, playing under Coach Odom, you got to imagine he'd be given a shot, right? Okay, so it's a crystal ball pick. He has not officially transferred yet. Okay, but thank you, Kelly. Kelly's always really good about sending me good info while I'm live. That's really good. That's my bad. It said 100%. I thought it meant he was committed. Read the fine print. Read the fine print, Kelly. I think LSU has a lot of good young guys, but not much experience in the secondary. I don't know what they have coming back. I'll be honest, I have not paid much attention to LSU. I don't know how I feel about their coach. I don't know how that's going to work out. My family. Oh, what a fraud. Don't come down here and fake a Southern accent. Don't do that. That's what you just did there. You just spit in some gumbo down there when you tried to fake that accent. You just spit in somebody's grits. Don't come down here faking the accent. Don't do that. That's a bunch of BS. I feel he'll be a depth guy at LSU. That could be the case. That really could be the case. I'll always remember Brooks for his pick 6 against Mississippi State to help us break the SEC losing streak. Gonna miss him. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. For anyone that plays NCAA football, anyone who plays revamped or even just base 14, or even we've got some people that play 13 in our Discord. I don't know why you play 13. Then again, I kind of get it. 14 really dumbed down the recruiting, and that just has always rubbed me the wrong way. So I can't blame anybody for not playing 14. But I was really looking forward to figuring out where to rate him and Fouché in the secondary, and I felt like, man, those are mid-80 guys. When's the last time you would have Catalon, who would be easily a mid to high 90s, Brooks, who's going to be a mid to high, probably 86, 84 to 86 overall DB, and Fouché, who's probably like an 86 overall. When's the last time you felt that confident once you had coming back, especially on the back end of your secondary? Good news is you still have Slusher. You have guys that have rotated and played multiple positions in the secondary. So, but you're losing a hell of a lot of experience and a hell of a lot of statistics there, a lot of numbers, a lot of analytics. Just you look at and you go, damn, you're losing a lot of pieces there. They had 38 scholarship players for the bowl game. Yeah. Is that true for the roster for next year? No idea. But they had, it was like 38 or 39 scholarship players in that bowl game against Kansas State. And in Baton Rouge, they aren't even Southern. They're Cajun. They are, but, I mean, the rest of it's still the South, right? You don't come down here and fake anything. I know Cajun's like its own Frenchy world. If you guys have never been, I've never been to Baton Rouge, but if you guys have never been to New Orleans, I had a blast. We went to New Orleans back in it was Chad Morris's first year, 2018. We went on a cruise, and of course, our boat was docked in New Orleans. Yeah, the town has some interesting smells. Okay. Katrina, people, we forget Katrina washed everything up, flooded everything, and it created some interesting smells, although I have a feeling those smells were there long before. That's an interesting town, man. A lot of history. New Orleans is all right. I'm not going to lie. It reminded me a little bit. I had this vibe. It had St. Louis vibes. I don't know why. I don't know if it was all the Catholicism. I'm not sure. The buildings kind of reminded me a little bit. You know, of course, St. Louis, you've got the Mississippi. So they are near a body of water. Honestly, Katrina cleaned the city up a bit. Streets are always flowing. Man, it has, I'm telling you, there's some interesting smells in New Orleans. But I had a blast, man. Going up and down Bourbon Street. That's something I'll carry with me the rest of my life. We bastardized their food. I make gumbo, but I promise it's nothing like Cajun gumbo. All right, we do have, so I want to talk really quick. We do have some baseball, and Jenna, I'm assuming Jenna is really, I'm not sure if there's a bigger baseball fan that watches my stuff. I know she's going to be looking forward to this. She's not a real big fan of the negativity that happens in our Discord, so as soon as it gets a little negative, she'll bow out, and I don't blame her sometimes. But she's a big baseball, and I know there's several of you that are really big into baseball, but Jenna, she is diehard about them Diamond Hogs, so I know she'll get a kick out of this show. You're not going to go deep, not going to lie. We're not going to go deep into it, but Arkansas was ranked. I don't know if you guys caught this or not, and we also have some portal updates. There's some more stuff going on. I mean, it's all kind of happening this morning. That wasn't the reason why we postponed an hour, and I know there's some people who probably thought, well, I guess we're not doing anything today, but we are every Monday. Was having some issues with OBS this morning and YouTube Live. I don't know what was going on, so when I was trying to figure everything out, I was like, wait a minute, I'm panicked a little bit, and I was like, let's just postpone this and let's try to straighten it all out. So that's why we ended up postponing. So yeah, let's get into, where the hell is my Monday slot here? There it is. Let's get into really quick the news about the rankings, and where'd it go? Fa la 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 la. Hang on just a second. Let me pull it up. So let's start with this. Last year, we know Arkansas eliminated from in their own super regional against NC State, which was extremely disappointing. Of course, NC State would end up getting screwed by the NCAA in Omaha. What do you guys think the expectations really should be? I hadn't had an official question, and I hadn't posted that in Discord. I'm curious where you guys are at on I'm curious where you're at, where you think the height should be. Where do you think they should they be a team that you look at and go, they're Omaha bound? This is an Omaha filled roster. Or maybe not. Look, you've got your first, maybe this is the first, and this is where college baseball ratings get really tricky. You've got D1 Baseball, right, on Twitter, who's probably one of the largest college baseball sites. You've got, of course, who I'm about to read their rankings. I'm sure some of you have already seen it, but College Baseball Nation, who's another big one. Who's the other one? There's like 3 or 4 really big, sites. And then, of course, the rankings get all kind of crazy. And they can be vastly different. Like way more different sometimes than comparing that to like the coaches poll versus the AP in football. I mean, it just gets kind of wild. So College Baseball Nation preseason top 50 drops. And if you haven't seen it, it shouldn't shock you, but there's a grand total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams in the SEC in their top 10. And I have kind of kept up with these guys for a little bit. I'm pretty sure I've listened to one of their podcasts, and they definitely are. They sound younger, and now maybe it's just these two guys that do the podcast. I'm not so sure they do all the writing for the site or how much they have to do with the website. They know their stuff, and I feel like they do a pretty good job. In fact, I seem to remember a particular episode, them kind of touching on NC State a little bit, and of course that was towards the end of the year. Now I don't think they picked NC State to upset Arkansas in their super regional, but I mean, that's pretty impressive for any of these sites, for any of these baseball sites, for their preseason top 50 to have 6 teams out of the SEC. And it's not shocking because the SEC, this is their best sport. This is the strongest they are in any sport. And I know that's saying a mouthful. Football, I feel like they continue to kind of take steps backwards, even though they're multiple steps in front of everybody in the sport. When you talk about talent, coaching pedigree, you just kind of go down the list. It's just overwhelming how good the SEC really is, even though this year, not exactly great in bowl games. You had some teams that were highly rated, that were really disappointing. Florida comes to mind. A lot of hype around Tennessee, and they kind of just finished, yeah, all right, Hooker's a pretty good quarterback. That Hooker can throw a ball, let me tell you. Speaking of, well, we'll get to the NFL. Did you guys watch – Haas is, I'm sure, in chat. I'm not looking at the chat right now, but Haas, I know, has got to be pissed off. But that Chargers-Raiders game last night was insane. That was insane. Oh, my God. Okay. So you have 6 SEC teams, and then your next. So, okay, Vanderbilt's number 2, Texas number 1, Vandy's 2, Mississippi State's 3, Arkansas at 4, LSU at 6, Tennessee at 7, Ole Miss at 9. So, again, let me count that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then your next SEC team comes in at 19th. So you got a little bit of a gap there. And that's the Florida Gators. And then South Carolina at 23rd. So 8 teams in the SEC. How's the Big 12 doing here? I thought they had more than, let's see, Texas is 1. I guess Oklahoma State is their second best, who's at 16th. Texas Tech at 20th. And that's it. You have 3 Mississippi schools in the top 25. Oh. Mississippi people are just I will say we stopped in Mississippi on our way down to Florida. When was that? Was that last year? Nice people. Stopped in a little town. I couldn't even tell you the name of the town. Stopped in a restaurant. Nice people. Ole Miss, Mississippi State, tags everywhere. And, of course, we have my car that, we got some looks, but no one really, mostly nice people. But, Mississippi folks can be a bit much. And this is going to go to their heads. Look at that. 3 Mississippi schools in the top 25. So Arkansas in at 4th. I don't know if that's too high. I don't know if it's too low. I know people are really big on Stovall. I know the lineup looks pretty impressive. Stovall, who passed up the opportunity to go pretty high in the draft, and, of course, he ends up coming here. Should be talked about the Kindle halftime activities. South Carolina was supposed to be back last year and absolutely crapped the bed. Take preseason rankings with a grain of, well, of course. I mean, I think it's just an interesting topic, Joe, and especially with baseball. Who was it? Florida. Was it Florida last year that was ranked preseason 1? And just completely tanked. So, yeah, of course, you take them with a grain of salt. I think that kind of goes without saying. Don't we have, 1 loss to Big 12 teams the last 2 seasons? Only lost to OU last year. Yeah, they lost to OU last year. They went down to Texas in the Shriners tournament and absolutely smoked. I mean, Arkansas was great. It took me 15 hours to get from Fort Smith to Daytona Beach. Ty, it was a long drive. Oof. 4 is too high until we know more about the pitching depth, says Kelly Marie. I don't like seeing Texas at 1 though. Arkansas should be at least number 2, says Country Boy. I don't know. I feel like the higher Arkansas is ranked, like when you're number 1, when you do what Arkansas accomplished last year, and you can't even get out of your own super regional, that just rubs me the wrong way. So I don't mind not being ranked number 1, to be honest. Vandy being at number 2 probably doesn't surprise anybody. Someone on our Discord had said, well, Mississippi State deserves to be number 1 because they won the championship. That's not how polls work. That's not how preseason polls work. I mean, you got to look at you look at what they accomplished last year. That's great, but that was last year. That was last season. So Arkansas baseball, and again, I am just now starting to scratch the surface on baseball right now. And of course, we'll get deeper into it as the season happens. I don't know. I mean, I feel like we're going to talk a lot about baseball during the while we're getting ready for spring and getting through the rest of basketball. Yeah, they're pitching depth. You're a little bit, like what's going on there. So yeah, I know people are excited about Peyton Stovall. I know people are really excited about Bob Moore, Caden Wallace, right? Slavens, Braden Webb, Jalen Battles, and you got a few more. The kid's last name, who I always Jace Bofrin, Bofin. I don't know, whatever. Of course, your pitchers: Peyton Pillette, Connor Nolan, Hagen Smith. Probably be your expected. Maybe that's your 1, 2, and 3. I don't know. We'll find out. The closer we get to baseball, the more we'll explore that. All right. If you have any portal questions, sling them at me. I have a few. We've got some portal stuff we can discuss. Starting to scratch the surface too on the 2023 recruiting class as well. It's early. I'll tell you, it's a wild world out there with the portal and how everything is just kind of a mess. I really hope the NCAA, if they do anything with the portal at all, I hope they change the dates on when you can still be eligible for year 1 off a transfer. I don't like that July, you have all the way until July. That to me is insane. I think it'd be better and it would be more beneficial. I realize the portal is it's meant to be player friendly. It's meant to allow these kids to move around with allow them to make their own decision, and that doesn't always work out for the best. I get that. It's all about improving what these players have control of, because we know before they didn't have a lot of control, right? They didn't get NIL deals. If you wanted to transfer, you have to go through a coach, and then you've got to sit out a year, and then you've got to wait 3 years before you can even declare to go pro. I wonder if they change that, and boy, if they do, wow. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I'll tell you this much. No 19-year-old kid, very few 19-year-old kids are prepared for what could happen in the NFL. The speed of the game is entirely different. The physicality of the game is entirely different. But it wouldn't shock me how player-friendly NCAA, and really I think that's on the side of the NFL. I think that's an NFL rule more than it is a college rule. So, yeah, I mean, anything can happen with the portal. I wish they would move the date up. I would prefer it before spring camp, not after spring camp. The fact that a kid can go all the way through spring camp, like we saw last year with Mike Woods, and has that ability to be eligible and still transfer right after spring camp, is just crazy to me. As a senior, he had those numbers. Let's see. Oh, Hagen Smith had 8 no-hitters in high school and a .90 ERA, and could start Wow, that's pretty impressive. As a senior, he had those numbers. That's insane. That is really good. Yeah, that was down in Texas, wasn't it? Yeah, that was. I seem to remember that. Yeah. Where can we see who's in the portal and who has offers from Arkansas? I would recommend 247 Sports. You don't have to have a subscription to look at the portal. Yeah, they don't show you everything. They don't show you who has offers. Like that I think is going to change. I think you're going to see how 247 does that. That's going to change. Saw Plumlee had gone to UCF to be with Malzahn. Yeah, Plumlee's going to go to University of Central Florida. That was not shocking. So, Ty, that top FCS quarterback is headed to Washington State 100%. Oh, okay. I don't know who you're talking about. Did we talk about him before? I don't know who that is. Wish we could have gotten Verse, but he committed to Florida State. Yeah, not surprised there. Florida State rolled out the red carpet. And I told you guys a couple of weeks ago I felt pretty strongly he was going to end up at Florida State. They were showing him a lot of love. So here's what we could talk about with the portal. So Hogs right now in the portal. We have Jalen Williams, who's going to Southern Miss. I don't know if you guys caught that or not. Malik Hornsby, who went in. Gregory Brooks, Joe Fouché, Kendall Catalon, Nick Turner, Devin Bush, Ray Curry, Jalen St. John put his name in, then he took it out the next day. Darren Turner, Jermaine Hamilton-Jordan, JT Towers, Andy Boykin, Vito Calvaruso, Solomon Wright, and Josh Oglesby. They are expecting, I say they, from what I understand, at least 2 to 3 more. We're still kind of waiting on the Andrew Parker stuff, whether or not it sounds like he's had a foot out the door for a while, but I've been hearing that for over a week now, and he's not announced. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see on that, which is so disappointing if he goes. That is someone who is going to come in and rack up some numbers this year for Arkansas. I don't understand it. I hope this isn't an NIL thing. I hope it's not. I don't know. I mean, we're sitting here talking about what's going on with the DBs. My God, I mean, you're so thin at linebacker. You really are going to have to rely on yet another walk-on in Woodard to probably come in and facilitate in the absence of Andrew Parker. You know, I'm gonna start chiseling away at a new depth chart. I had one kind of put together, and it's like it's already done. Like it's already, you know, you had Joe Fouché and Brooks on there, right? I still have. Where's he at? I still had Andrew Parker in the mix, and I feel like there's a good, strong possibility that he hits the portal. And then, of course, we might be adding some guys here pretty soon. It's disappointing, but at the same time, it's just that's college football in 2022 now, and it just is kind of what it is. Deshaun Watkins any good? So, all right, Will's already coming out. He's already talking about it, but he is someone who I just put in the Bobby Hopper portal yesterday, I think. Yesterday morning. Who played at Memphis. So I don't know a lot about him. I don't know that he's put up many numbers. He's a taller guy, 6'4". I've heard he's actually like 6'4" plus. A buck. I think he's a $190 now, about 185, 190 pounds. I don't know much about him, but he is someone that has been talked about. So again, that's Deshaun Watkins. I think he was a 3-star. He might have even been a 4. He might have been one of those 4 stars they picked up. He, I think, was he recruited in 2019? So he's a junior. And because he played during the COVID era, he was on campus at Memphis during the COVID season. He should have an eligibility. He should have 2 years left of eligibility at least. It's looking like Arkansas, there could be some mutual interest between those two. And that would be, I mean, that's someone, right? That's someone you could add. I don't know how to feel about him. I don't know where to put him. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I just don't know much about him, and I don't think he's recorded any numbers over the last couple of years. Let me pull up. So again, if you guys are in our Discord, you could see that in our Bobby Hopper. Let me flip the camera around here. Here's our Bobby Hopper. If you guys haven't had a chance, so here you are. If you're over in the trail, right? This is the main chat. And then you come over here. We have our threads, Patreon page. Oh, I didn't add December yet. Nobody called me out on that. We haven't added December. And then we've got our 2023 recruiting. Of course, there's some stuff you guys can't see down there. But, yeah, and here's our Bobby Hopper portal. And I already updated. There's this young man right here that there's some – I haven't – had an update. Last I'd heard, there was some mutual interest here. I don't know if you guys could see that very well or not. Darian Green-Warren, another DB. It's pretty clear that Arkansas is going after some prospects. The other one who I had to make a change on, let me find him right here. Drayton Norwood, you guys remember him. He has committed to Mizzou. Drayton Norwood has committed to Missouri. Arkansas did not reach out to him. From what I understand, his family was hitting up some media folks up here, trying to reach the U of A, trying to find out. I don't know. I wonder if, there were rumors he was a silent commit to Arkansas and then he committed to A&M. Maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know that we ever verified that he was a silent commit to Arkansas or not. But, yeah. So he's in Mizzou. I mean, you're talking about a 4-star prospect who doesn't have any film, but I'm starting to wonder if it was a bridges were burned kind of thing. For those of you who are new, I try to tag them with. If you've never been in our Bobby Hopper page, you can see it there. Flame means keep an eye on. A lot of smoke. 99% chance he's a hog, right? I never put 100% because until they commit. So, yeah. All right. Let's see. Okay, I got some info here. Kelly's on top of it. Watkins signed with the Tigers as a 3-star product out of Nashville. He appeared in 2 games in Memphis, but recorded no stats in his collegiate career. Okay. Well, there you go. Yeah, I mean, we added Eric Reid. Now, here's another interesting one. 4-star, another DB, Eric Reid. Keep an eye on Eric Reid. It sounds like there's some interest here. There might be something to it. In fact, I think it's almost at least a single flame here. I think it's almost one flame worthy. Eric Reid is someone, let me flip that screen back around. Again, these are screenshots that were either sent to me or whatever, and I just post them. But Eric Reid, 6'1", almost 200-pounder out of Auburn. So he should have at least 2 or 3 years of eligibility left. 4-star prospect. I'm sad I can't make that any larger, but I'm almost afraid to click that. Open original. Where's that going to take me? So there you go. So that's all available there. And typically as soon as I hear something or someone sends me a screenshot and and I do a little bit of research on it and it turns out to be true, I'll post it. I remember hearing about Eric Reid out of Calvary Shreveport. He was a ball hawk. Oh, I don't remember him. We just need to get another. We just need to get nothing but defense in the portal. Maybe another wideout. I'm still, if I had to, and I have thought so long and hard about doing some more edited content, kind of touching on this a little more. The live shows are live shows, right? Like we sit here, I answer your questions, I go on. Edited content is like, right there's the topic, and there it is, and this is what we're discussing, and bing, bang, boom, it's done. 6-minute, 7-minute video. Surprisingly, they take me about 2 hours to make, and that's one of the reasons why I don't do edited content anymore. Actually, some of them take longer than that because I'm a freaking perfectionist on edited content. But thought about doing something on what they need to do, what kind of what questions they need to answer this offseason to get ready for 2022, getting into spring camp. Listen, the momentum on football, this is the most hyped I could remember college football at Arkansas, in Fayetteville, or across the state since I've been doing this in a while. I've never felt this way since doing this. This is the first time, because I started the channel in 2016. I was just doing kind of content here and there, right? I was trying to get 2 videos out a week. But we've never had this transition where like we're coming out of a really successful season. You win your bowl game, and now we're getting ready for spring camp, and there's so much hype. So much so that my dad, of all people, Arky56, who I just got in our Discord, but he won't ever chat in there. He might pop it open and just see what's going on, but he never chats. I wish he would, because he's kind of a hoot. This is a guy that never goes to spring ball. Like, this is not someone who gives a damn about spring ball. He's like, it's boring. It's just kind of predictable. There's not a lot. There's not as much. You can't hit the quarterback. You can't really take what you see. And he's right. You can't take it too serious. For the first time in my adult life, he is pumped about spring football, about going and watching the scrimmages. So, yeah, I mean, they've got a lot of hype around the program right now, and the transition looks pretty you got to feel pretty good about what's going on. And now it's like, all right, so how do we make this stronger? How do we build on top of what we accomplished in 2021? And that's a hard question to answer because of the portal, right? You're rolling the dice on these portal. Look at Muss. He rolled the dice on some guys that were some pretty good prospects at one point in time. And it's not really working out right now. They've got strong pieces, but they're not flowing. There's no chemistry. There's no flow on the floor, and you could tell things just could be a lot better, and they're just not. And that's what you're risking. When you go into the portal and you reach out to 7 guys, I would argue you're probably hoping 90% of them have an impact year one, because it's just 7 guys, right? And you're cleaning out. You're doing a little bit of doctoring to your roster. And then you're losing more than you can replace, and the transition that's tough. So your 7 guys you're going after are guys that have to be able to have some kind of an impact out the gate, right? Like you want them to be able to come out and have an impact, right? We do have the championship game. That's tonight. Oh my gosh, I wasn't sure I wanted to talk too much about it. But, yeah. What do you guys think? Who do you got? Who do you have? Alabama or Georgia? I'm just going to say it now. I'm taking Bama. I know Georgia's favored at 58%. I think they're favored. I think the line is in their favor, right? At almost 3 points, 2.5. I'm taking Bama. Now, I don't think it's going to be like the SEC championship. I think it's going to be a dogfight. I said in Discord the other night, it's going to be them by double digits. But, after thinking about it, I think it's going to be a close-ish game. Like maybe Bama by like 8 or 9. Maybe they get into 10 points. But I'm taking Bama. I don't know. I just don't like betting against Nick Saban in a championship game. Just don't like doing it. Don't like betting against him. I'm predicting 4-8 next year. Nobody is surprised by that one, Country Boy. Tied by 2 touchdowns. Now Country Boy thinks they're going to win big. Nick Yates says Bama by 17. We have Will Bowler who says Georgia. I want Georgia to win. I'll be tickled pink if Georgia wins. Don't know that I could pick Georgia, but that's who I'd like to see win. You and me both, Kelly. Bama's O-line has been thinned out. Davis is going to eat tonight. I'd like to see Bama lose, but Bama is Bama. You're not wrong. Me and my dad rarely disagree in the championship, but I'm taking Bama. He's taking Georgia. Better be careful, Joe. He changed your diapers. I think Georgia going to come and play. Alex Henderson says, love seeing Grant Morgan goodbye message. That was really cool. That was really neat. I wish him the best. He could do whatever he wants. He's either going to be a doctor or try and play pro ball. Love seeing I already read that. I'm rooting for no fake injuries. Well, Ole Miss isn't playing Dylan, so hopefully there's not that many tonight. Not saying there won't be any. Secondary room real thin currently, making less competition for spots. Well, like I said on Ty Richardson's, I don't know if you guys hit that line on, was that Friday? Yeah, that was Friday because we did the 3-hour show, which was insane, by the way. If you guys managed to make that, it was awesome. It was a lot of fun. But then like 30 minutes after that, I go to Ty Richardson's Twitter space, and we got to talking about some stuff there. We got to talking about NIL stuff and would love to see Bryce Young get sacked over and over. I don't know if that's going to happen, man. I don't know. Georgia's good enough. Georgia's loaded up with first-round talent. On the front, you know what's crazy though is like Bama walks into this SEC championship. Everyone's like, "Oh, this is just we know Georgia. Here they go. Georgia's going to take care of business. Georgia's going to do what Georgia's done all year." Bama, who lost to A&M on the road, should have lost to Arkansas at home. Played sloppy against a bad Florida team, although that was on the road, but still. And then Bama walks in and beats the brakes off of Georgia. Like, what the hell did we just witness with that? It was insane. Have we ever had the that good of a linebacker core in history? I know we've probably had better individuals, but as a group of 3, I don't think we've had better. Let me put it this way. Time will tell if that was a reflection of just how good these guys were, Hayden and Bumper and Morgan, or if it's also just a reflection of the kind of work and how important those linebackers are in Odom's defense. Now at Mizzou, it was something similar, right? Very linebacker-heavy driven defense. Now, we've never had in a single year, I don't think, 3 linebackers over 100 tackles. So it might be a mix of the two. They both kind of helped each other, right? His defense and then those players, you combine them and it just makes sense. But at the same time, you have to give credit where credit's due. You have to credit Barry Odom, Michael Schur, and those players. Like it fits so well. They all have kind of their own strengths and their own weaknesses. I was really impressed with Hayden this year. I really was. I wanted to give him MVP. This year. I was really impressed with him. Shaheed Mustafa, what's up, man? I currently live in Georgia by way of Arkansas, and the governor issued a statewide hunker down statement to the state for the upcoming game. Wants everyone to wear red and black today. Oh, man. I want Georgia to win. I do. I want Georgia to win so badly. It's just not going to – I just don't think it happens. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. Heard that Jackson Woodard has a legit shot. Yeah, I've been bragging on him for the whole year, Will. Well, since we started seeing more and more of him on special teams and just kind of what I'd been hearing, I'm impressed. That dude he definitely looks like Tarzan. Took them the first game, and I'll take them again. Oh, you're talking about Bama. Yeah, I hear you, Hoyt. It's just hard. It's hard to bet against Nick. Bama, but closer. This game says Scott 870. Will Lennox says I think Georgia comes out and plays. Yeah, me and you both. I think they do. I think they come out and play. I think they make it a ball game. I'm telling you, that game last night, that might have been one of the best football games of the year that I've watched, period, that Vegas and Charger game. I'm really shocked John Hawes isn't in here, unless he's been talking and I've missed it. Is Hawes in here? I know he's upset about that, him being a Charger fan, but holy crap, dude. That game was insane. Woodard is a beast. Tarzan, I'm telling you, man, he's the kid. He looks 26. Did you guys see Landon Rogers was posted? It was either him or his mom. Someone posted pictures of him working out. That dude has definitely hit the weight room. He is massive. I cried when the Rams lost. Well, they're in the NFC, or they're in the playoffs, but it just doesn't. I tried telling you guys, they don't. Sean McVay does not beat the Niners. He doesn't beat them. He could have the best that the NFC has to offer, and they don't beat the Niners. It doesn't matter. The Niners could be absolute shit, and it won't matter. We forget that Georgia didn't have as much to play for in SEC championship than what Bama had. I mean, sure, but Anthony, they got the brakes beat off of them, man. I mean, they got embarrassed. They didn't look like they even belonged on the field. It kind of made you scratch your head, like, how the hell did we go on the road and barely lose to Bama, but then get curb stomped against Georgia? Philon had a good game. He got hurt late in the game. Anyone think Dallas beat San Francisco? I sure hope they do. For a lot of different reasons, but mostly because I hate the Niners. I haven't watched the Niners much, but I'm a Cowboy fan, so who's going to win? I think Cowboys should be favored. I was impressed with them Sunday. I watched a little bit of that game. Dak Prescott was dialed in. I thought they looked really good. Seeing that Caleb James could be the next commitment. He will be. Oh, I probably wasn't supposed to say that out loud. Doesn't matter. I already said it in Discord. He's going to be your next commitment. January, what date is it? We have it on our threads. Yeah, Caleb James, January 18th. He's going to be your next commit. Yep. Which is good because OU after him. Now, I know the previous staff was after him. So that's a good pickup. I'm going to bother Haas real quick in Discord. We're talking about your Chargers, bruh. He says he can be. This guy's over here talking about, oh, you're going live at noon? I can actually watch the whole show. And now he's like, oh, I can be in there. Like, what are you doing? What are you talking about? I thought you wanted to be in here, Haas. What's your deal, bro? Ty, what do you think of Barry London becoming OC with Bielema? Yeah, at Illinois. I don't know. Good luck to him. I don't know how much command he's going to have of that offense. We know that Brett Bielema likes to run the ball. I mean, that's at the end of the day. Now, I really didn't pay much attention to Illinois this year, but I'm assuming that's how they probably played. A lot of I formation. Yeah, they probably ran some shotgun, but they still hand the ball off about 50 times a game, I'm sure. I'm not going to cheer for either team to win, but I'll be happy with either team losing. The NFL wanted Big Ben in the playoffs. What was this talk, Haas? You were like, oh, I could be at your show today because you're going live at noon. And then you're like, yeah, I guess I can go in there. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you for thanks for being here, I guess. We were just talking about your Chargers and how they in that game last night. I know you weren't too excited about how that ended up, but that was probably one of the best games that I've seen all year, college or pro. That was a unbelievable end. And I wanted to get your take. I was digging a hole. How dare you? I wanted to get your take. This is what I don't understand. So had the Chargers, so everyone's blaming the Chargers for taking the timeout, and that's why Oakland didn't kneel the ball? Wasn't it ultimately But wasn't it ultimately Oakland who decided instead of kneeling, we're going to kick the field goal and knock you out? Should the anger be at like, what the hell, Raiders? You should have just kneeled it and we're both in. Or am I missing something here? I don't understand. Like, why is all the anger at the Chargers for calling a timeout? I kind of wonder if he started to think, well, these guys are just going to knock us out of the playoffs. I better burn a timeout. I don't understand all the anger towards him for calling the timeout there. Someone, like, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's real easy for us to sit here and say we would have done anything different, but I don't get it. Like, at the end of the day, the Raiders made the decision to kick the field goal and knock the Chargers out of the playoffs. Oh my God, the ultimate, like, you talk about pissing in someone's grits. Yeah, because they called the timeout. They ran on 3rd and 4. Then they ran it down. They weren't in field goal range before the 3rd down play. Right, but they ultimately decided to kick the field goal. They didn't have to. I mean, again, am I missing something? They could have just kneeled it. Who cares if they were at the 5-yard line? They could have just kneeled it, and they both would have gone into the playoffs. Clock runs out if he doesn't call the timeout. Again, it doesn't matter because either team gets to go to the playoffs. And when the Raiders decided to kick the field goal, it knocked the Chargers out, and it put the Steelers in. Because if the Raiders take a knee, they have to go to Arrowhead. Okay, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for an explanation. If the Raiders take a knee, they have to go to Arrowhead instead of going to Cincinnati. But, I mean, I get that Arrowhead's a tough place to play. I get that. It is one of the toughest places to play in the NFL. But, I mean, regardless, you're going to have to go to Cincinnati. Now, I don't know how rabid the Bengals fans are. I really couldn't tell you anything about that. But, I mean, you're still going to have to play on the road regardless. Are you that fearful of playing the Chiefs? Like, you're that scared shitless of playing the Chiefs that you make that decision? But thank you for the explanation. I didn't understand why they decided to do what they did. That makes a little bit more sense. They weren't going to kick old Ben Roethlisberger out of the playoffs. Maybe it is. Maybe it is the Illuminati with the NFL. It's like, yeah, we want Big Ben. We want him. We want him to go out on top, getting into the playoffs. The play clock was at 5 when the timeout was called, and the game clock was under 40. It didn't change anything time-wise. The clock would have. Yeah, again, I think some of you guys don't understand, unless maybe I'm not understanding you, and if that's the case, I apologize. It didn't matter. They could have kneeled the ball after the Chargers tied things up. The Raiders didn't have to score. They could have kneeled, and both teams are in the playoffs. Now, as Gustavo Guerrero explained, there's a difference in where they would have to play, if they win versus if they tie. And I don't know. I don't know that it matters. I'd be surprised if the Raiders get by either one of those teams. I'm sorry. I would have waited till 1 second and then called the timeout and hit the field goal. I was wondering if they were just going to attempt the field goal, but instead of, like, they would hike the ball, right? They would snap the ball, and then he just runs backward and downs it like a big, we faked you out. We're not going to be dicks and eliminate you. But no, they kicked that son of a bitch, and it knocked them out of the playoffs. One of the biggest dick moves I've ever seen. Burrow and Chase are red hot. Yeah, you're not wrong. They are. A Chiefs team that already beat them this year in Arrowhead. Yeah, but like Eagle just mentioned, Cincinnati is on fire. Chiefs weren't exactly great this year. Like they're still Patrick Mahomes. They're still pretty good, but they're not like what they were not long ago, right? I mean, I don't know. I kind of look at what's going on with Cincinnati and how red hot they are. I mean, he's right. Eagle's right. They are on fire. The coach said he called the timeout because he wanted the right players in. Oh, okay. The Chargers, yeah. I would have done it just to piss people off. I think someone mentioned it too. The NFL would have fined the teams if they would have. Now, see, I didn't know that, and I get. John saying some swear words around his kids. Why would Raiders care if Chargers made playoffs? I mean, that's a fair point, but like, you didn't have to score. You don't risk. I mean, anything can happen. A blocked field goal and then what? And then the Chargers run that back, or you run the ball and you fumble the ball. Remember, Jacobs has been playing with sore ribs all year, and they're handing the ball off to this guy. That's why, Scott, like, you risk turning the ball over. And if I understand that correctly, the Raiders could have been knocked out, right? If the Chargers had won, or am I misunderstanding that? Hearing that Rouser's brother has entered the portal. I was going to end with that. I'm glad you brought that up. We'll talk about that here in a second. Aren't they division rivals though? I mean, sure, but I mean, we're talking about the playoffs. They are technically rivals. Made sense that they went for the win. Well, I'll tell you what, they did plenty to add on to the rivalry. Holy crap. I mean, I get being angry, but I don't know that I put the timeout on as to the reason why you were knocked out of the playoffs. I would argue your body of work through the season is why you're in the situation you're in. I heard Pittsburgh would have went to war. Yeah. If that was New Orleans, Atlanta in that position, I'd want us to knock them out 100%. I don't know. To me, it was just weird because you risk turning the ball over. You risk getting again, correct me if I'm wrong, anything could have happened there. And if the Chargers recover, fumble, and run it, I mean, we've seen crazy things happen, right? On final drives all the time. Happens all the time. You fumble the ball, and then all of a sudden the Chargers are in the position to knock you out. I just don't know why you would risk that. Just kneel the ball. You're both in the playoffs. Shake hands and walk off the field and get ready to maybe see each other get in the playoffs. I don't know. What's up with all the firings? Well, it's Black Monday, as it's called. Carr's a great guy, though. Glad to see him finally have some team success. Boy, he's been through it all. The Raiders have been through a lot this year. Look at what Stafford did. Exactly. Point in case right there. The Steelers are going to build a statue of Daniel Carlson in front of Heinz Field. Hell, we saw crazy things happen in the last quarter of that game. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it did work out in their favor, and it worked out. They kicked the field goal. They're in. They eliminated the Chargers. I want to prevent all the risk that I can get. And if I'm facing elimination, if some crazy shit happens, then I'm probably just going to kneel it. And you know what? Hey, we're both in the playoffs. And I don't care. Like, man, the Bengals, like, there's not a good option there. The Bengals are on fire right now, playing really good, which isn't too surprising considering what they have going for them on offense. And then the Chiefs are still the Chiefs. I think the Bengals might be better than the Chiefs. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. You are facing the Chiefs are a playoff experienced team, so they're going to have that on their side. Stafford looks like Detroit Stafford. Well, I don't completely disagree with that, but for the first time ever in his career, he's won a division title. I think this is his second best season ever as a starting quarterback, which kind of helps. They had an extra game, but yeah, towards the second half of the season, we saw the old Stafford emerge, and that was really disappointing. But they lost Cam Akers for the season at the beginning of the year. They lost Woods halfway through the season. Luckily, they picked up OBJ, who ended up working out okay for him. He's no Woods, I'll tell you that right now. You consider the pieces they've missed on offense, they've still outperformed. Cooper Kupp is a damn baller. Dolphins head coach got fired. Couldn't believe it. I know the Packers didn't care if they won or lost, but how do the Lions beat two of the best teams in the league? All right, so on the Rouser deal, I'm glad someone brought that up. Rouser does have There's still a lot of smoke around what's going on with him. Well, all I can say is right now it's an ongoing situation. His brother is in the portal at Michigan, or cousin, I guess. He's got a different name. It's Andre Seldon. He's a smaller guy. He's a little guy. He's 5'8", about 155 pounds, according to 247. I haven't been 155 pounds since I was like 10. It's been a minute. And I haven't been 5'8" since I was probably 7. I'm kidding. All right? But Andre Seldon, I guess, is his cousin or brother or something, but I guess he's in the portal. There's a lot of belief that it could be a package deal. Maybe that was some of the smoke that no one really understood. Maybe that was some of the what the hell's going on? Why didn't he sign? Maybe his brother's like, look, I'm bowing out at Michigan. I want to go where you go. I don't know. We've heard all sorts of crazy shit around Rouser. Everything from, it's off the field. I had people in my DMs. He got arrested. Well, that turned out to not be true. And then we heard it was altercations between him and some teachers. And we heard, him and the principal. I've heard it all. And this is just how it goes. Then it was grades and academics. For whatever reason, he didn't sign in December. I'll just say it's an ongoing situation, right? I'm not sure where this goes. I don't know. Again, I'm not entirely sure the relation. I guess that's his brother, Andre Seldon. But he was a 4-star for you decimal guys. Hey, 0.92 4-star. I know you guys, some of you love that. Out of Belleville, Michigan. So he should have a full, let's see, I think he's going to have 3 years of eligibility. Yeah, and there's some other names coming up in the portal. I feel like the portal is what this show is just going to be called, Portal Update, because we're going to have a lot of portal talk. I'm 5'8", almost 5'9", Ty. Yeah, I'm not sure. This is a terrible take. What's a terrible take? You're going to have to help me out, Marquise Caston. What's a terrible take? Stafford equals Romo. That's a bad. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, what did Romo ever really accomplish, right? Maybe he is. I'm not sure. But Stafford fits McVay's offense pretty well, but he just turns the ball over too much. Way too much. Lots of times brothers love to go to the same school. Look at LSU brothers Johnson at the tight end. Yeah, I mean, it does happen, right? Yeah, and for people that are questioning about the firings, it is Black Monday, so that's just kind of to be expected. Romo was awesome. Romo had some moments. I know Cowboys fans would love to forget some of his mistakes, if you will. Why wasn't Rouser at the All-America game? Thought he was invited. I don't know. Yeah, he has an invite. I think it's still attached to his 247 profile. I don't know what happened with that. If Stafford chokes first round, then he definitely will be equal to Romo. Yeah, which could happen. But I love McVay and I love the offense, but it just seems like they just come up short. You look at the Super Bowl against the Patriots, like that team was not prepared. Patriots were good. That defense was really good that year. But the Rams, it was like deer in headlights. I want the Bears to get back to glory. Yeah. Gabriel Bass says Romo over Stafford. Well, I mean, maybe. I don't know. I like what Stafford can do. I don't get into the comparison stuff that much. I just, whatever. It is what it is. I've liked what I've seen out of Stafford in the first half of the season. But it seems like since Woods went down, he's a lot more turnover prone. The defense was pitiful last night. Niners just walked into the end zone. Romo didn't have the team. Had to do too much. I want Marquise to tell me, or who's he talking to about the terrible take? What's the terrible take? Are you talking about the Romo Stafford comparison by Country Boy? Is that what you're talking about? I guess he ducked out already. Well, whatever. I miss Brian Urlacher. Brian Urlacher was great. The Bears have had some great defensive players over the years. They just can't get it figured out. Their offenses are continuously not good. All right, I'm a little late on lunch, so I'm gonna go eat some lunch. We'll be back Wednesday. Again, I'm trying to get Stephen Hamner. He's been busy, quarterback country. He was out of town. But I want to get him on, and we're going to talk. I want his take on the portal, maybe if there's some names out there that Arkansas we need to look at. I'm trying to get something put together. I'm hoping maybe this week I can get him in. That would be great. That'd be awesome if I get him in, and maybe there's someone out there in the portal that we should be aware of, or maybe get some final KJ takes too, see what he thought about the bowl game. Who's the all-time best Arkansas quarterback? Man, why do you guys ask these heavy-ass questions at the end of the show? That's a loaded question, because you're going to get some people that'll say Ferguson, back in the day, Joe Ferguson. You're going to get Ryan Mallett, Tyler Wilson, Brandon Allen's senior season, Clint Sterner. Quinn Grovey. You're going to, I don't know. For me, that's a hard question. I would probably argue Ryan Mallett or Tyler Wilson. Got to come in here with that loaded question at the end of the show. Yeah, Mallett. Matt Jones was really great. Matt Jones, in terms of what he did, he's the best player I've ever watched, period. But as a pure passing quarterback, no, he's not even in the top 8. But as what he did with Nutt in that offense, he was spectacular. I've never seen anything like it. Someone that big, that long, who looked like he was walking when he ran because he had such long legs. And he's just pulling away from DBs like they had no chance. They had no chance. And he made it look so like there was no effort involved at all. I've just never seen anything like it. And it's one thing to watch it on TV and to be there. And we went to a lot of games when we had season tickets. We got to watch a lot of Matt Jones, and it was pretty exciting. Casey Dick, get out of here. He did a good job at Fayetteville High this year. I'll give him that much. Look at the job he did with Isaiah Centennia. Hey, man. Chris Cheese's Matt Jones, question mark. Again, when I hear someone ask me greatest quarterback, I'm thinking passing quarterback. And we are in a new era, right? Quarterbacks do more than throw these days thanks to the RPO. Matt Jones would do better in this era of mobile quarterback. He probably would. You're not wrong. But in terms of just what Matt Jones was as an athlete and what he was capable of doing, he's still the greatest. He's, to me, the greatest player I've ever seen between him and Darren McFadden. Just insane. Both those guys were insane. Felix Jones on kick returns. Oh, my gosh. Joe Adams on punt returns. I feel bad for Austin Allen. I think he had a higher ceiling than B.A. I don't think he had a higher ceiling. I've never thought that. I watched him play at Fayetteville. I've got to watch a lot of really good high school quarterbacks up here. I've got to watch quite a few. Mitch Mustaine, Brandon, both the Allen brothers. The kid at Fort Smith Northside that went to Auburn. Cody Burns. Of course, him and Mitch played against each other. I got to watch a bunch of good quarterbacks. And B.A. of that group stood out. And then I think part of the problem was he didn't have a lot of weapons around him. They all had to kind of develop together. You had this rotating door. He had 2 different OCs, right? He had 2 different coordinators, 2 different kind of play designs, 2 different kind of coordinators calling the offenses. Pretty different between the two. You had a run-heavy philosophy with Brett Bielema, who wanted to run out of the I formation. And it just took them some time, and then we finally saw his final season here was unreal. It's one of the best seasons we've ever seen. I've always thought B.A., he was recruited by Petrino. He was built for that system. I think he would have been amazing in the Petrino system, which was clearly a lot more throwing than running, but different route trees, different route design or play design, completely different offense, completely different offensive philosophy. He was built for that. And it's the reason why he's in the NFL still to this day as a backup. In fact, he started yesterday, didn't do so hot, but he's been in the league for how long? 5-6 years? I mean, if Austin was really that good, he would still be somewhere. Instead, no, I'm not hating on Austin at all. Like, Austin was a good quarterback at Fayetteville. I think his issue was atrocious offensive line. Brett Bielema, it just felt like he kind of let go of the rope. And I don't fault Austin at all. I think he could have had a much better career. But there's a reason why BA still is in the league, and none of the other quarterbacks, none of those guys lasted long. Ryan Mallett was 4 years in the NFL, I think, but he started a few games, Baltimore, and then a couple games with the Texans. But I think there's a reason why BA is still in the NFL. I think now I'm not saying he was a better pure quarterback than Mallett or Wilson, but his skill set and his high QB IQ, smart dude. He's kind of your prototypical pocket passing quarterback. But I liked Austin, but I always thought Brandon had the higher ceiling. Cody was great during the years I went to Northside. Yeah, Cody was good. He was a good player. He played safety for them too, and I thought he was a better safety than he was a quarterback. He was a good player for them, for Northside. And I remember I watched when Mitch Mustaine played at, I think it was their last year, played at Northside. That was a hell of a game. Of course, the Springdale 5 completely destroyed Northside, but Nick Starkel is the best quarterback at Arkansas to throw touchdowns to the other team. Jenna, what's up? I probably missed the baseball talk. There you are. I tested positive for the coof. Oh, no. Oh, that sucks, Jenna. Well, I hope you're doing all right. I hope you're all right, Jenna. That sucks. Take care of yourself. Drink plenty of OJ. I don't think Austin did anything besides the AAF for that single season. He got drafted? Didn't he get drafted? Am I crazy? Didn't Austin Allen get drafted? Is Tyler Wilson forgotten? I don't know what you mean. Is Tyler? If you're asking if we mentioned him, yeah, Tyler Wilson was a great quarterback here. He fit really well in Petrino's system. And I think BA could have done something similar to what Wilson accomplished in 2011. Of course, 2012, you don't have Petrino. You have Paul Petrino calling plays. You have Mr. Smile as your head coach. It was just I don't feel too terrible or horrible, just congested and achy, but I'm surviving so far. Well, good. That's good. Tyler Wilson is never mentioned. He's mentioned here. I think Tyler Wilson is one of the better quarterbacks ever at Arkansas. I do, especially what he accomplished in 2011. It was pretty great. Mitch Mustaine, LOL. He's a good high school quarterback. I stand by what I say. And I went to Fayetteville, played at Fayetteville, and I supposed to hate Red Dogs. That Springdale 5, that's the best high school offense I've ever seen. I've never seen anything like that, and Mitch made that go. So I got to meet Wilson, very nice guy. Yeah, so I've heard. All right, I will be back. Hopefully Wednesday we'll be good to go at 11 o'clock. Again, I'm going to try and get QB Spotlight back in here and do a live with him. And yeah. So Jenna, get to feeling better. You're going to have to watch from the beginning about the baseball talk, but we did get into the rankings a little bit. We talked a little bit. We mentioned some names here and there, but not a whole lot, but there's a little bit of something there for you. All right. We'll see you guys later on in the week. Have a good rest of your Monday. Enjoy the game tonight. Someone had asked if we were going to do a post game after the championship in Discord. That is a very real possibility. If you're going to be active tonight in Discord and you want to talk after the game, we had a great time. When was that? Saturday night. We were in Discord live in the live chat for I don't know how long. I think it was like at least 2 hours. It was great. But I just sat in the garage, smoked cigars, and kind of got caught up on some stuff. Then we talked about gaming and nerd stuff. I mean, it was awesome. I had a good time. But tonight, maybe we will. I'll let you guys know in the DMs, or not in the DMs, in Discord. I'll let you know if we do decide to do anything. I'll make sure and let everybody know. So, yeah, woo pig, and maybe I'll talk to you guys later tonight. If not, I'll talk to you Wednesday. For those of you who are in our Discord, again, keep an eye. I'll let you know there if we do post game in the Discord chat. So, woo pig, no hogs. See you around.